Good all, welcome back to a sunny South Africa, and this is South African Prepper. So our last video, we spoke about will you help the unprepared? And I found the comments very interesting because as a prepper, we all know people that can actually not see the trouble coming. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world, even if you're in America and especially in Europe, there are just some people that cannot see the trouble that is coming in the world. So for this video, we want to talk about why the unprepared just cannot see. And to start this video off, we first need to understand what the world is going through and why it is actually happening. So if you look at the world, and this is where the people are going to say conspiracy theorist, but it's actually been proven in 2020. So if you look at the world, you'll notice that the world is governed by only a certain few. Okay, now they call themselves the elites, or those people from Silicon Valley, or the people that actually fly into Davos. So these people actually control the world via businesses, via organizations, and via governments. And the way that they control the world, to simplify it for you as the viewer and for myself, is basically in two ways. The one way that we saw in 2020 is where they use governments to control the people. So if you live in a country like, for an example, Germany, Sweden, Norway, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, the list actually goes on, even America. In 2020, they told you what you can and cannot do, and they actually tried to force you to take a vaccination in order for you to go to work, to go to businesses, to go to the stores, and they forced you to wear a mask. And if you did not wear a mask, you were not allowed into businesses, shops and stores, and you weren't allowed to go to work. So this is the one way that the elites of the world control the world, is by controlling governments, and then the governments controlling you. Now, in a place like South Africa, where the government is absolutely shitty, and believe it or not, this is the second part of their strategy, and it's one that they've used in Africa for many, many years now, for the last 40, 50 years, is what they'll do is they'll install a government that is totally, absolutely useless. And then what tends to happen is the country gradually falls into a decline. You will see that service delivery will go backwards. Service delivery will become bad. Like in South Africa, we are battling with blackouts. We are battling in the cities with water. The roads are shitty. Okay? By installing governments that only want to fill their own pockets, okay, they're creating a country that is ungovernable. Okay, they're creating a country that literally, gradually, like South Africa, over about 30 years, okay, goes into a state of disrepair. South Africa has reached a point where you cannot fix South Africa anymore. Even if you get the correct government now, with all of the money in the world, it's going to take you 10, 20 years to physically fix South Africa, because it's so corrupt, it is so degraded, that to fix the roads, for an example, will take 20 years and billions and billions of rands to actually fix the roads. And it's the same with the electricity infrastructure. It's the same with water treatment plants. The list goes on and on and on. Sewage running down the streets. So two strategies that these people use is, one is controlling the government, and then two, in simple terms, installing a government that creates absolute chaos, because they do benefit from chaos. I take our neighboring country, Zimbabwe. For the last 20 years, they've had a government I mean, half of Zimbabwe is living in South Africa because the country has died. But they benefit. How do they benefit? They benefit because now they can mine for almost nothing. And all they're doing is they're feeding the pockets of the politician. Okay? So coming back to our video, why do the unprepared, or why can the unprepared not see with their eyes and their hearts and their minds that shit is on the way? Okay? And it is because of that control part. The control part gives you a media that is giving you a whole lot of crap the whole time. Trust us. We know what we're doing as the government. You need to follow us. You need to vote for us. Okay? So it is much easier to listen to authority in power on how you can live and what you should do and should not do than to actually have an own opinion, to actually think for yourself and make your own decisions. The unprepared cannot see because of the fact that the reality of what's happening in the world is literally too big, too complicated, and too hard. The reality of a country collapsing for many people is really too hard to fathom. So there's an example. I've got a friend. He said to me the other day, I have invested so much money into my house, okay, that I cannot allow the hungry masses in anarchy, okay, to burn it down or to take it over or to steal from it because I've worked for it my whole life. And yes, that is a reality. All of us do work for what we have. But the reality is that once anarchy, shit hits the fan, alien invasion, that's the best one, alien invasion happens, you will have no choice. You will absolutely have no choice once the masses knocks on your door and they want whatever is inside of your house or farm. Okay? It is extremely difficult to explain to the unprepared the reality of things because they are so controlled by the mass media. I mean, I take for an example the war in Ukraine. It is so difficult to get the truth about what's happening in Ukraine because literally both sides have got their own agenda. And it's impossible. Like, America is consistently saying that Ukraine is winning, but it's a lie. You talk to the average person on the street, yes, Ukraine is winning, Ukraine is winning, okay? It's an absolute farce. It's an absolute lie. And during 2020, they used the media yet again, okay, to control you, to pump things into your head so you think that, yes, it's fine, let's just go along, okay? And I'll be very honest with you. We had to comply during 2020 in South Africa, okay? But we were forced to comply. I couldn't go to the store without a mask. We were literally forced to comply. So, the unprepared, in my opinion, cannot see the truth because they literally blocking it out. Okay? It's a decision to decide to investigate things. To go and have a look and read up. Is what the guy in the video is saying the truth? Okay? And people have unfortunately become lazy. They don't investigate what is going on. Now, if you go onto a platform like we are on now, or one of the other social media platforms, you are being censored. Okay? They are taking off certain things and so that they can push a certain narrative. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of unprepared people can actually not see what is going on. This is South African Prepper. God bless. Please like, share and subscribe. Or a thumb down if you think it was a shitty video. God bless. Thank you.